And it also shows that the Labor Party doesn't really have a Liberal problem at the moment. I think they're more concerned about, what might crop up between now and the next election in terms of independence, and perhaps the Greens on the left. Wouldn't you agree?
No, I think the main battle's still with the Liberal Party.
Yeah.
The concern is that they'll lose up to four in WA to the Liberal Party, that they can lose a couple in New South Wales to the Liberal Party. And
right.
Peter Dutton, obviously, with his policy on net migration, reducing it to 160,000, reducing permanent to 140,000, is trying to say to people, I will help you buy a house, I will help your rents come down. That is just straight out of a focus group. It also may have a fair point to it, I think. I mean, the government's slashing migration themselves. They've clearly let too many people in too quickly.
Exactly.
But when I asked David Littleproud about this yesterday, I said, well, do you still want working holiday makers in regional towns? He said, yes. And then he introduced himself. He still wants an ag visa. He still wants international students in regional universities.
Still wants skilled workers.
So how are they slashing net migration by 100,000? Have a listen.
There's a nuance here about supporting regional universities, and regional universities rely heavily on overseas students. It's important we don't take that away from them. We continue to underpin that.
Well, last financial year, 15% of the net migration was working holiday makers, about 75,000. Don't you need those workers in regional towns? You'll be cutting them as well.
Well, we do need the working holiday makers, but what we'll also be announcing, and with respect to the numbers, is the return of the ag visa.
Let's get this straight. You still want university students in the region from overseas. You still want working holiday makers to come and work in the regional towns, and you still want an ag visa. So I'm just putting the question to you, does it start to become hard from the Nationals' point of view, a cut from net migration from the projected 260 to 160 when you still want all these things and all these workers?
No, because what you do is you make the priorities of where the necessity is in the economy and where those pressure points are.
All right, so I had Andrew Charlton, the Labor MP, on yesterday as well, and he surprised me by admitting that there's a full-blown housing crisis in this country. His words.
It's true that we're in a full-blown housing crisis, and that's why the government has announced $32 billion in new housing initiatives. Now compare that with the opposition leader who had his big chance in his budget reply, and he did not announce a single new dollar for housing supply.
You just called it a full-blown housing crisis. Do you accept that the immigration that's occurred has contributed to that?
Absolutely. There's no question that high levels of immigration put pressure on housing prices.
Yeah, and Michael Sugar even told me that he wants his next election to be a referendum on housing. Surely it's a little risk here for the Liberal Party base, because all those homeowners, they don't want to see any kind of measure that would see the growth in their homes and the value of their homes go down either. So there's a big risk there, don't you think?
They want their kids to own houses.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I just wonder about those traditional voters.
My tip is they've got significant housing policy to come. That's what I was told on the weekend, so God knows what that is. Look at all the things they're doing already. Super for first home buyers, which I don't really agree with. I think it just pushes up prices. And this migration move, what's next?